Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And if you're new here, my name is Brandon, and in today's video I thought I would go over some of the gear that I've bought that I regret buying for the Sony a6400. So real quick, guys, if you're new here to this channel, definitely think about hitting that subscribe button because I'm putting out new videos quite often and it helps the channel grow, as well as give this video a big thumbs up. You know, annihilate that like button because it helps the algorithm out with my channel. Now, with that being said, let's talk about some of the gear that I bought that I regret buying. So I got to take you guys back a little bit to when I first started this YouTube journey. I also picked up photography and videography. Now, you know that if you're watching this video, you've probably seen other YouTubers like Peter McKinnon and probably Potato Jet and a few others, and some of the smaller ones that are out there that review different camera equipment. So when I was watching a lot of those videos, they kept recommending and reviewing, you know, all kinds of different equipments, from microphones, tripods, all the different cameras, lighting, you know, all that good stuff, right? Well, there were some items that I bought that I thought I was going to use, but I ended up not using them at all. And some of these items got a pretty pricey tag on them. I bought them anyways thinking that I was going to use them all the time, and that's not the case. So the reason I'm making this video is to kind of give you guys an idea and kind of, I guess, put my experience out there to just kind of say that you don't need to buy the expensive equipment in the beginning or at all, depending on how far you take this journey. This is just kind of show you guys that a lot of this stuff you're just not going to need, especially if you're just starting out. Now, if you're somebody like Peter McKinnon or what's that guy's name that does the food? Come on, help me out in the comments. Daniel Schiffer. If you're like Daniel Schiffer, then you might need some of the equipment like that. But those guys are, you know, well established. But regular YouTubers are just starting like us. You're not going to need a lot of these items or this equipment that I'm going to show you guys. So let's just go into the stuff that I regret buying. All right, so I'm not sure how good you guys can see this, but this is going to be the Ronin S gimbal by DJI. Now, this is the original Ronin S. There's been, you know, different models have come out through the last couple years, and this one was a pretty price. This was like $899. Might have been $799, something like that. But when I bought this, originally when I saw the YouTube videos and things like that, I thought this thing was awesome. And don't get me wrong, this is an incredible piece of equipment if you are doing a lot of video work professionally and freelance wise. But if you're just a YouTuber, you're just not going to need this unless, again, it's a big hobby of yours and you're just out creating videos on a daily basis. My whole thought process was, when I bought this, in my mind I was thinking that I was going to use this to vlog and do B-roll for my vlogs. Well, that didn't happen at all. I bought it. I had a Canon T7i at the time. I balanced it, used it around the house, and then it sat up on the shelf for over a year and collected dust. And this is probably the second or third time I've ever pulled it down. And it's another fun fact, every time I go out and shoot, I think, oh, I'm gonna take the gimbal and I'm gonna use it. Never happens. So just throw some advice out there. Don't spend a lot of money on a piece of equipment just because other YouTubers have it and you think it's cool. In reality, you may not use it. But again, I'm not knocking this piece of equipment. DJI, the gimbal's incredible. There just might be cheaper ones and you might not need it. Just really think about what you're buying before you buy it, because you do not want to go broke while making YouTube videos. You just don't want to do that. And the next thing that I regret buying is more of a general, you know, overview, is anything related to audio and microphones. Again, some microphones can go up to like thousands of dollars. Some are fairly cheap, like 20 bucks, and those will work just as good. And when I first started, again, audio was really, really important, and it still is. But a lot of these cameras are, you know, I hate to say it, but they are good enough for YouTube videos, because most of us, 99.9% of the people, watch videos on their phone. So whatever comes out of the camera may not be that bad, but you can make it better with a shotgun mic or a lav mic or an external recorder, anything like that. All this stuff's pretty cheap, but I have like a few of them. This is not even all of them. I have 2 other mics that are cheaper. One's a shotgun mic, one is a lav mic, and I used those for a little while. Then I had to have the next best thing, which would have been the shotgun mic, and then I figured, oh, I can make the audio better with a external recorder. Was using that for a little while, and then I figured that this is just too much of a hassle, too big, whatever. So I bought this other mic, the Rode, the Rode Video Mic Go or whatever it's called, or something like that. It doesn't take a battery. You just plug it in the camera. And I figured, oh, this is awesome because it's small, it's lightweight, it's not that noticeable, but it kind of is because you get the big fur ball and sticking out your camera. But again, don't overdo it with all the different microphones. Just kind of find one cheap one and just roll with it until you start either making money off of YouTube or you kind of start getting an audience, which I really have neither. But this is just going to give you a good example. Don't spend all your money on gear that you really don't need. All right, so I promise I'm not going to drag this video on too long. The last thing I want to go over is something that anybody that's just picking up photography or YouTube or any type of content creation, especially with TikTok being as big as it is, anybody that's going to go out and buy any type of mirrorless or DSLR camera, one of the first accessories that they're going to buy, and I guarantee it every single time, is going to be a GorillaPod made by Joby. Now, again, just like the other stuff, I'm not knocking this brand or this type of GorillaPod or anything like that, or tripod. These have their time and place for what you need when you want to use it. But for me, I use it maybe a handful of times. As you can tell, I got 4 different little variations of them. I have 2 GorillaPods, the 3K and the 5K or something like that. And then I had this other one that was more for the phone, which is just a cheap Amazon. I think it's Arkin or something like that. Then I had this Manfrotto Pixie, which is not really a GorillaPod, but it's like a 3-legged, small, short tripod. And to be honest, that's what I use the most. Because again, it's small and compact, and you could hold it out in front of you. But the GorillaPods just kind of end up being too big, It's just something that I just found myself not gravitating to use those. I found myself wanting to use the Pixie the most. And again, you can get carried away with anything when it comes to cameras or content creation, as far as buying different accessories and gear. And this is one. All right, so my battery died, so I had to switch them out real quick. And so where was I? I was talking about the GorillaPods and tripods. I think I was saying that you can get carried away with buying, multiple tripod variations, because maybe you think whatever you had before is not as good as the newest, hottest one that just came out, and your favorite YouTuber is reviewing it. So in your mind, you have to have it, right? Well, you don't need all that stuff. All you need is a camera and yourself, and you can create awesome content. And that's what I'm trying to work on myself. I'm trying not to use so much gear, and I'm trying to just concentrate on the content and just trying to put good stuff out for you guys and kind of show my journey, talk about some of the mistakes that I made to hopefully help you guys not make those mistakes and how to excel in different areas of content creation. I really picked up photography, and that's kind of like becoming my specialty. So, I might put out some videos about those things, and I'm kind of just blabbing on now, just kind of giving my spiel. But that pretty much concludes this video. Those are probably the main items that I bought that I regret buying. And if you can avoid being excessive or excessively buying these items, I would try to figure out how to make it work without those items, unless you really need it. If you're like Buff Nerds Media or any of those big time production companies or production YouTubers, anything like that, then you're going to need it. And you will have no problems buying it. You'll use it every day. It's not a big deal. This is going to be mainly for the new tubers, and the new content creators. Again, just buy yourself a decent camera. The Sony a6400, that's kind of the one I use. I love it. I live by it. And I appreciate you guys watching. And if you haven't, just smash that like button, because it helps the algorithm. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and be on the lookout for my new videos. And I really appreciate you guys watching. So until then, be safe and take care of yourself.